Everybody, NerdX. Say the little theory I've been thinking of, due to the fact that I cannot stand the clusterfuck that is the Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. So let me just really say real fast, my issues with those movies are utterly and completely the fact of them shitting on previously established characters to push their own narrative, their own agenda, and what their version of Star Wars is. So that's what I really have a problem with. Not to mention the fact that the bad writing of Rey being a Mary Sue was ridiculous. I mean, I'm sure everybody and their mother knows why that is at this point. I can go into a little bit of detail, considering she just does everything well the first time, perfectly defeats Kylo Ren, which takes away from the threat of him as a villain. It took Luke 3 episodes to defeat Vader. It took her, first time she picked up a lightsaber, beat him. I thought, well, maybe they can have him beat her in the next movie, which they did not. So now going into the next movie, I may or may not even see it, but I'm already thinking to myself, what's the threat? What are they going to do? He's already shown to be weaker than her. So what I think that needs to be done, which they can use some kind of ridiculous ass poll, which I'm sure they will, in the next movies to try and, fix what they did wrong with this movie. But I think a better one would be then here comes the theory part. Use both the massive power, because they were alluding to that in the Last Jedi. Oh, darkness rises and light rises to meet it and all that shit. They can just say, well, okay, they're so powerful with the Force, when they clash together, it makes some kind of Force anomaly, and they both have to sacrifice themselves to, let's say, save the galaxy from their own Force power, because it's gonna ripple throughout the galaxy and destroy everything. So something like that. I figured the Imagineers at Disney can figure something out more than I could. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I could do better. Who knows? With the crap that they pulled with that last movie was ridiculous. But well, it's Rian Johnson's vision, so he had complete creative control. But say like the clashing of their Force power in one concentrated area creates some kind of cosmic ripple in the Force, and they go back into time. It forces them to go back in time to the last time the Force was at balance, let's say. And that's at the end of Episode 6, and take it from there, and use the stories that George Lucas wrote in Legends. George Lucas and his extended team. Because there are some really good stories in there, And I would like to, I could probably maybe elaborate in a further video and get all the information down, but this is just off the top of my head. Some of the, the intergalactic invaders, the, like I said in my previous video, Han Solo and Leia and their children, and Luke with his, and all the adventures that transpired afterwards. They're really good stories, and they fit the characters of who they were at the end of Episode 6. So, and you have to admit, whether you love or hate the prequels, at least they didn't destroy the original trilogy's character development. You might not like certain things, like Jar Jar was ridiculous and such. Most of the Phantom Menace was really just boring politics, and as goes for most of the prequel trilogy in general. But I rather like the saber fights. The lightsaber fights were quite good. Some of the cool uses of the Force, seeing Force lightning be implemented more often than in the original trilogy, that was cool. But, there was a lot of things. I rewatched it recently when, now that I'm older and I'm through different eyes. I'm like, yeah, they did rely a lot on CGI, but it was good. I liked it. I thought the prequels were actually pretty good, in my opinion, but I can understand why people don't like them, whatever. But at least they didn't make the original trilogy all that development that happened through Luke's character arc, through Han Solo and Leia, just mean really nothing. It's ridiculous. And not to mention, this is on a bit of a tangent. You know, Leia, Carrie Fisher, died in real life. Why wouldn't they use that opportunity in The Last Jedi when she Superman's basically back to the ship to just kill her off? Like, that would be an honorable send. All right, she died in space. Okay, you know, nobody could have survived that. That would have been fine. But back to what I was saying with my theory. Say they go back in time, you know, and you know, to the point of most balance. Okay, and they should just go from there. You know, just use those other stories, because I personally would like to see those stories played out. Because, you know, if you'd actually look at them or read them even for a couple of minutes, just look through some of the pages, even just some of the covers, you'd get an idea of where they were going, you know. And they're not going to do that. I know for a fact that they're not going to do that, but they're going to just continue to push their SJW bullshit, Disney children's imagination bullshit agenda. And the true hardcore fans, the real fans, the older generation of fans are just going to have to suck it up. They want to sell toys. They want to sell merchandise. That's what the freaking Porgs were for. Same thing with the Ewoks. You know, it's for merchandise. Kids say, oh, cute little thing, I want that, you know. But I don't want this to turn into a rant video about how Disney fucking screwed up Star Wars, but I really can't talk about it without mentioning that, because that's what happened. You know, it's sad, because if you go to, there's an interview with George Lucas and Kathleen Kennedy, the one who's in charge of Lucasfilms. He said, you know, she was like, I'm not going to, you know, destroy your characters. I'm going to have it the way that you envisioned it. And, you know, he was like, all right, you know, this is basically like my children, these movies. And they didn't do them justice, and that's just sad. Alright, that's what I have to say about that. So basically, it's just cool to have some force anomaly due to the sheer energy of their force power in one singular point to ripple out and go back in time where it was balanced. At episode 6, start from there. Just do what was originally written in Legends. That'd be cool. Alright, thank you all for listening. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Nerd X, signing off.